In this video, I'm going to show you how to get 1 million plus EMC automatically without having to waste any resources. And the first thing we're going to need is an extreme crafting table. And last time we set up a way of getting automatic nether stars, and that's been doing its thing for a couple of days now. So we have like over 1,000 nether stars. So all we need now is to make those matrix ingots and a double compressed crafting table. Head over to our warehouse, input those items onto the mechanical crafter, and bish bash bosh, it'll start to craft us our extreme crafting table. Now that we have the extreme crafting table, we're going to need to make something that will have to run a little bit because we're going to need neutronium nuggets. So we're going to have to make the neutron collector. But it seems like we've run out of ancient debris. So a quick stop to the nether. Grab a few extra scraps. Because these matrix ingots take the lattices, which the lattices take netherite scrap. And once we had grabbed enough of ancient debris to get the netherite scrap, it was on to making the neutron collector. The one really annoying thing about the extreme crafting table is that all the recipes are extreme. What do I mean by that? They're all massive. Like, there's so many different items that you need to put in extreme crafting table. It's ridiculous, and it's hard to remember what the recipe is for a certain item that you're making. In this case, the neutronium collector. So I probably ended up looking at this recipe at least 10 times before we had crafted it. But once we had done that, it was time to put in all the items. And once we put in all the items, we then had the neutron collector. So we then had to place it down, and I put a drawer over the top of it and let that go and do its thing over time. Now with the neutronium collector, how it works is just over time. If you click on it, over time, you'll get these pile of neutronium. And it has like a percentage of how complete it is to get in one pile. But then to get the nuggets, you needed 9 of the piles. So it just took so much time to get these. But once we had got them, we could then start making the transmutation table. Now, just like the neutron collector, the transmutation table needed a very specific set of items. And I thought the best way of remembering what I had was putting a diamond chest down, and as if we were making it in the diamond chest, start laying out the items. So we already had things like nitro crystals, netherite upgrades. We had a silverfish heart, but we're going to have to go get a couple more, as well as like the dark matter. And once again, I had ran out of ancient debris for the matrix ingots. So again, I went off to go and grab more ancient debris. So with my nether journey coming to an inevitable end, I come back with an overall just under a stack of netherite scrap, which should be enough for me to get all of the matrix ingots I needed. So I had a little bit of a count up, and once I counted up, got the correct amount, and left the rest as lattices just in case we needed them for anything else, like any of the alchemical chests which we're going to have to make, or anything like that, because we are going to need a fair few alchemical chests, and they just take lattices, no matrix ingots at all. And with that being said, we got on to making some of the other items that we're going to need. And these are all items, by the way, that when we get the transmutation table made, we could learn all of these items and never basically never have to make them ever again. So with that being said, we have basically everything we were going to need. All we need to do now is go and fight the silverfish mother 3 times. Which this battle was made really easy with this gem armor, because she cannot attack me at all if I'm flying and I'm using my bow, which does a fair amount of damage. But soon we won't have to summon her, kill her ever again. But that's a story for another episode. And once we had killed all 3 silverfish mothers that we needed, all of the neutronium piles that we needed were also complete. So I made them into neutronium nuggets. Now you do that just by with the piles in a full 3x3. So you need 9 piles per nugget. And now we have absolutely everything we're going to need to make this transmutation table. So one trick I did learn with this is you can actually sort of like using JEI, you can, on a normal crafting table, you can shift click the plus button and it'll put the items in for you automatically. Well, you can do the exact same with the extreme crafting table. So once that was then made, it was then we needed to start teaching the transmutation table some items that we were going to want for the future. So I just taught it some of the basic stuff, or the stuff that I thought was going to be quite annoying to get, especially down the line. And all I was using for EMC up until this point was just netherite ingots. With my requester, I changed it so I was having at least 50,000 netherite ingots and diamonds and everything else in there all at once, because we were only having 10,000 before. But I thought, well, I might as well use them for EMC for now. And then I stumbled upon one item, and this item is the holy grail. We'll never ever have to use any netherite ingots for EMC ever again, because it generates millions upon millions upon millions. There's even one that has 48 trillion, but I can't physically get there yet. EMC per second. No, not per minute, per second. And this one specific item is called a power flower. Now, to get this, it was fairly simple. All we needed to make sure we had learned in the transmutation table is Eternalist fuel, because we needed the fuel block, which is just 9 of the fuel. In a crafting table, you get the block. We needed that for a few of the items, like an energy collector to get the compressed energy collector. And we needed to learn all the covalence dust, which we have done. We've already learned red matter in there as well. And then just using basic items like glass, obsidian, glowstone, a bit of andesite, we could make our first power flower. And the next power flower is fairly simple to make again. You just use all of the previous items, but mix it this time with a bit of dark matter. So we needed an energy collector. So we put a single energy collector in a crafting table with 1 piece of dark matter. That gave you the dark energy collector for tier 2. Same thing with the basic antimatter relay. Put that in a crafting table with a bit of dark matter. Would get the dark antimatter relay Mark II. Now that we have the dark energy collector and the antimatter relay, both Mark II, we needed 7 of the antimatter relays and 1 of the energy collectors. Throw that round the first tier of power flower in the middle, with the energy collector in the top middle slot, you'd get tier 2 power flower. Now with tier 3, you did the same process again, but with the red matter this time, and you'd get the Mark III. And then this is where things get a little bit interesting. You needed to then start getting different coloured matters. So we needed magenta, pink, purple, violet, and blue. And to get those, to get the magenta one, you needed 3 red matter and 6 of the fuel. You'd get magenta matter. Now we learnt this again in the transmutation table, so we never had to make it again. And the same thing with the red antimatter relay. You can learn these things inside of the transmutation table, so you only have to make them the once, and then you can just pull them straight out. So that's exactly what I did. And again, to get the pink, you needed the magenta matter with 6 of fuel. The fuel going down all 3 slots on the left and the right side, and the matic going down the middle. And then you'd get your pink. Same thing with the pink to get the purple. Same thing with the purple to get the violet. And the violet, same thing again to get blue. So now that we've got up to blue, what my plan is now is to make the rest of these off camera. So now you guys get an understanding of how this works. You can use it yourself. One interesting thing that I will be doing, but once I've maxed it all out, is you can actually learn these power flowers inside of the transmutation table and have a big farm of these going at once. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, but we can't do that right now. So thank you all for watching today's video. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new around here and you want to subscribe, please do. That would be amazing, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.